The truth did not arrive gently, it fell like a blade between two hearts that believed they were safe. On a quiet evening soaked in fading sunlight and unfinished dreams, a single revelation shattered the fragile world we had built with bare hands and borrowed hope. The question that hung in the air was not just about money or identity, but about trust, sacrifice, and whether love can survive when the mask finally breaks. This is not a story about riches hidden behind rags. It is a story about a man who stripped himself of comfort to discover whether love could recognize him without it. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and love that chooses the soul over status, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel, The Kindness Chronicles. Your support keeps stories like this alive. He had grown up surrounded by abundance that never taught him warmth. Large rooms echoed with silence, and expensive objects replaced conversations. From a young age, he learned that people admired what he owned more than who he was, and every smile seemed to calculate value before sincerity. By the time he was old enough to inherit wealth, he had already lost faith in admiration. So he walked away, not dramatically, but quietly, choosing anonymity over inheritance, modest work over boardrooms, and small rented spaces over mansions that felt like museums of loneliness. He wanted to meet the world without the armor of privilege, to know if love could find him when there was nothing to gain. That was when he met her, in a place where dreams waited patiently on cracked benches and dusty windows. She was not chasing success, she was surviving with dignity. Her laughter came easily despite exhaustion, and her kindness did not ask for recognition. He noticed how she listened when others spoke, how she shared what little she had without keeping count, how she believed in effort more than luck. To her, he was just another struggling man trying to make sense of life, and for the first time, that was enough. He worked long hours, counted coins carefully, and learned the weight of every small expense. Poverty was not romantic, but it was honest, and through it, his admiration for her grew into something steady and profound. Their love did not bloom in luxury, it grew in borrowed time and shared resilience. They supported each other through disappointments, celebrated tiny victories, and promised nothing they could not give. When they married, it was simple and imperfect, surrounded by people who mattered, not by appearances that impressed. He believed that by choosing this life, he was honoring love in its purest form. Yet even as happiness settled into routine, a quiet fear lived within him, because secrets, no matter how well-intended, have a way of demanding payment. The day the truth surfaced was not planned. It emerged through coincidence, through a name overheard, through pieces that suddenly aligned too perfectly to ignore. Shock turned into confusion, confusion into hurt, and hurt into a question that pierced deeper than anger. She felt betrayed not because he had money, but because he had denied her the right to choose with full knowledge. To her, love had been real, but now it felt wrapped in deception. The walls of their small home seemed to close in as silence replaced comfort, and the life they had built trembled on uncertain ground. He struggled to explain himself without sounding like an excuse. His intention had never been manipulation, but protection of something fragile and rare. He had wanted to be chosen for his heart, his patience, his values, not for his bank accounts or connections. But intention does not erase pain, and understanding does not arrive on demand. She questioned every memory, every sacrifice, wondering if it had all been a test she never agreed to take. The simplicity she cherished now felt like a performance, and the man she loved seemed suddenly distant, wrapped in layers she never knew existed. Time did not heal them quickly. Days passed heavy with reflection. He watched her rediscover her own strength, confront her hurt, and examine what truly mattered to her. He remained present, not with grand gestures, but with consistency and humility. He refused to escape into wealth or explanations that justified himself. Instead, he accepted the possibility of loss, believing that love, if it were real, deserved honesty even when it cost everything. Gradually, something began to change. She started to see the man beneath the revelation, the one who had lived the same struggles she had, who had shared exhaustion and hope without pretense. She realized that his choice had cost him comfort, reputation, and security, and that sacrifice itself was a form of truth. Love, she understood, is not proven by perfection, but by endurance through imperfection. Forgiveness did not arrive as a single moment, but as a slow, deliberate decision to believe that intentions, though flawed, can still be rooted in sincerity. When they finally rebuilt, it was with clearer boundaries and deeper respect. Wealth was no longer hidden, but it no longer defined them either. They chose a life balance between responsibility and simplicity, using resources not as shields, but as tools for kindness. Together, they learned that real love does not require poverty or riches, only honesty and courage. Their marriage became stronger not because the secret was revealed, but because it was survived. This story is not about pretending to be poor, it is about stripping away illusions to find something real. It is about choosing love that sees beyond surfaces and forgives the fear that sometimes leads people to hide. It reminds us that trust, once broken, can be rebuilt when humility replaces pride and patience replaces defense. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that love is messy, human, and still worth fighting for, please like this video, share it with someone who believes in second chances, and subscribe to The Kindness Chronicles. Your engagement helps these stories reach hearts that need them. Before you leave, I have one special request. Comment this line below to let us know you were here and felt this journey. I choose real love over appearances.